Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So I'm pretty dejected after our last race. We come home second and sixth, both drivers in the points, but points-wise in the championship standings, it was disastrous, as we now fall 7 points behind Hammer with only 2 events remaining. That is huge for us. 7 points is seems to be almost insurmountable unless they have some sort of an issue. But what we really need is we need both drivers to bring it home, and we need them to perform great. The problem we've got is that we've got this 8 more weeks with minus ones everywhere. So a horrible, horrible time for this to hit. So Reeve is not doing us any favors in the championship. That is for sure. Okay, let's take a look through our email. And again, click through this stuff. Let's see what sort of wonderful interview questions we've got. And so there was a disaster for one of the other teams. What's your analysis? And again, we're going to get that buttered up personality trait. Really no reason to answer it any other way that I can tell. Okay, so our car repair is finished. That means we can get back to the business of improving our parts, because reliability is really a non-issue for us at this point in the season. So what we're interested in is maximum improvement. In fact, I'm going to take this one out because I really need as much focus on the parts that need it. And then there's a lot of improvement to be had here. Only 10 points there of improvement left. So I'm not really concerned with that. So let's go ahead and let all the focus be in that area, and we'll move forward. It's going to be quite a while before our final part, most likely of the season, is done developing. And that's a gearbox. Okay, let's see what we've got for emails. Championship update. We're plenty. Even if we didn't get any points in the last 2 races, we would still finish in the top 4. So we'll take a look. I usually skip over the report. You can see here the race should be done dry with 0% chance of rain, so that'll be good. Unless because sometimes the rain can come in handy to work out the strategy, but it's going to be mano a mano, it looks like. So it's going to be acceleration is going to be what we're favored, and the gearbox is going to be a particular point of focus, as you can see in the screen here. Acceleration, top speed, and deceleration, all of which we're in pretty good shape. If we click over to the meant to hit the car screen, then you can see here we're not too bad. Hammer is just in front of us in all of these categories. That's the problem that we have in the championship perspective. Is really what we need Eskin to not finish on the podium, and we need for both of our cars to finish in the points, preferably one of them winning. So that's the kind of thing we really need to have happen if we're going to have any shot at winning this championship in our final season for the series. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward. So we're going to have our new gearbox here just before the race, but it's not going to be useful to us in that race, though, unfortunately, because of reliability concerns. There we go. So now that part is done, and in all likelihood, I'm done with all of the parts as far as development. So now let's go ahead and let's move this one up and work on what we can for the final race of the year. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and add it there. We're going to get maximum performance that we possibly can for that final race. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on. And we're going to choose our sponsorship, which of course is going to be third or above there. And let's see about our parts. I don't think we're going to have anything to change here. Brakes, engine. We do have the new part available here for the gearbox, but at this particular track, the gearbox is crucial, which means that it's going to wear more, and 68% will not get us to the end of the race, I don't believe. So I'm not going to take that chance. We definitely need both cars to finish the race, and to finish the race as high as humanly possible. So, okay, we've got the best parts that we can get. So with that in mind, let's head to the racetrack. Practice and qualifying now in the books, and we came out pretty good, 5th and 7th. So definitely not, first and second or anything like that, which is what we really need for finishing positions in the race to make up some points, but pretty solid finishing positions and about the best that we've done all year long. Now, our knowledge bonuses, the ultra soft tires, light footed, that is completely useless. There are no ultra softs here, but unfortunately the AI chose to spend all the time and focus and practice on qualifying, so there is no race trim bonus. So we're stuck with a couple of tire bonuses and then the pit stop guru, which makes the tire changes faster. So we have that. Setups came out okay, given the limitations I've put on myself. So we got 92% here. Definitely not what I was hoping for. We're stuck with these tires. We're not going to get that many laps out of these tires, but 7 laps is the most we can get out of them. Essentially, we can do this in 6, 6, and 6. We're not going to be able to do 7 laps, particularly in this first stint anyway. You can see there, we'll be lucky to get 6 out of this first stint. So we'll see how it goes. The good news is the fuel will give us 7 laps should we need to do that with one of the cars because of any issues. Then here, 97% for Reeve, which is a great setup. And same thing here, 4 to 6, not good at all. So we may have to try to go 7 with one of the sets of tires for Reeve, possibly a set of mediums. But again, we'll see how it goes. So we're going to try to get as many laps as we can. It looks like Reeve is going to be pitting first due to the tire wear situation. But again, we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's go ahead and set up everything on automatic and spin our camera around so we can get everything where we need it and speed up the time. All right, so we're in 3rd right now, but I do not like the line that Fetterman takes into some of these corners. Right now, the start is really doing well for us. Let's hope that can continue, and we need Reeve to hold her own at the very minimum and stay around the points paying positions for this first stint. Wow, I don't know what happened at 2nd place there, but now we have the wrong 2 cars out in front of us. All right, so we've got 3rd and 5th. That's a great start so far. That is exactly what we're looking for. Let me move the cursor out of the way here. So 3rd and 5th, a great start. Again, we need to get, I would say, at least 5 laps out of these tires, and preferably more. Okay, so 3rd and 5th, and now we've got a battle at the front. And okay, as pit stops will now begin. Pit stops don't hurt you as bad at this track because of the nature of pit road. It actually, on pit exit, helps you. All right, so we're at 2nd and 4th, which is good. We're on lap 3. That was a very, very early pit stop there, by the way. And now we're getting another car coming in. The leader is now coming in. That will be Chantry. So Eskin came in the first time, now mired back in some traffic. Hopefully that Eskin will stay there. All right, so tire wear is definitely becoming an issue here. Okay, we're going to put that on conserve. We should be okay there because 10% is really where we need to be. Let's go ahead and trigger the pit stop. Here you can see we have no more soft tires left. That absolutely just boggles my mind at why the AI would do that, but hey, it is what it is. So now we're going to have to go to the medium tires, and we're going to max out, and we're going to hopefully get a good pit stop here. All right, we're going to try to run one additional lap here with Fetterman. And now that we're past pit entry, and another mistake. Okay, only 3 seconds. Still a mistake, which we did not need, but only 3 seconds. All right, so we're going to have to go on the medium tire, unfortunately. Okay, now we're going to try to see what we can get out of these tires, and we're going to try to push as fast as we can. So now we're going to be on the medium tire, max out the fuel, and just go as hard as we possibly can. All right, so we're 1st and 14th for the time being. All right, you can see Reeve here is purple in the first 2 sectors, meaning that we're setting the fastest times. All right, so a good pit stop here for us, and we're going to come out in, looks like 12th. So now we're 12th and 13th, but we do have some plenty of cars here that have not come in and made their first pit stop yet. So we'll be picking up some more positions as pit stops continue. So we didn't get quite what we were looking for. Ooh, I need to back off there. They're using up those medium tires pretty quickly. Definitely a lot quicker than I was hoping. All right, I would expect to start seeing some pit stops this time around. All right, we're up to 6th and not taking a good line around the track right now, I must say. Hopefully we can make that even out. Okay, some more pit stops puts us 5th and 7th, which is roughly where we were at the beginning. Anyway, not quite to the same spot. All right, so now we know 4th place is coming into the pits this time for their 2nd pit stop of the day, which is, again, seems a bit early for another pit stop. Same thing with 6th position. They're coming in as well. And that's going to move us up through the rankings. Okay, so we're 3rd and 4th right now. This is very good for us. Again, we can run at most 7 laps on a set of tires. Okay, these medium tires do not have a cliff that they fall off, of course, until you get them to 0% wear. So I'm going to go ahead and ride these things pretty hard here and try to pick up all the spots we can. All right, we're going to pick up the lead here just barely on this round of pit stops. Now we've got a serious problem, because now we have Eskin, who is right behind us and has already made 2 pit stops to get to this position. That's not good for us. I'm not sure, though, if Eskin is going to be able to make it from here on fuel, though. That is the problem, or tires, if they continue to push as hard as they are. So that's going to be interesting. Are they going to have to make an extra stop? Of course, I want to keep them behind me as long as is humanly possible and make as many laps as I possibly can here, because that makes the last stint as short as it possibly can be. And there we go. Now we've lost that position, and for some reason our cars usually tend to lose positions in bunches. Again, if you notice, the 2 cars that are around us are the purple cars. That is not good. Okay, whoops. We don't want to do that just yet. Now we can set up our pit stop. So we're going to go with a fresh set of mediums, and we only need these to last 6 laps. We're going to put in just enough fuel to get us there, and we're going to push hard, and hopefully we have a good pit stop here. Really need to have a great pit stop. We're going to keep pushing hard here at the front, and what we're going to need now is we're going to need for the top 2 cars to need another pit stop. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but we're going to hope that that happens. Because if they finish first and third where they are right now, even if we're second and fourth, they're going to kill us in the points and we're going to have no shot. Okay, so now it's time to put on our last set of tires. I would really like to put on one of these sets, but I don't think I can get by with it. Let's see, we have 5 laps to go. I think I'm better off pushing really hard in the mediums though. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. Hopefully we have a good pit stop. All right, so now we're back out of the pits. Okay, so Reeve comes out in 7th and is immediately sets a purple sector. I really like to see that. All right, also, you can see we're at 14% wear here, but we're managing to keep up with the top cars, even with that. All right, so let's have a good pit stop. And nope, here we go. Here's one of those patented tremendous errors. So now we are done. Ladies and gentlemen, there went your any shot for a championship right there. All right, so now we're done. That is pretty much going to take care of it for us. And that makes me very angry. I know I take the chance there, but there's no reason that every penalty should be 6+ seconds, which seems to be the case. It's almost like, you know, feast or famine there. All right, so we did get a little bit of a break, it appears, with Eskin, you can see here in the standings, down in 8th. So now we're up to 2nd and 5th. We just need Eskin to stay down there. And we're going to need Chantry, who is leading right now, to not win, essentially. And Chantry is pushing very hard right now. And nope, we will not be backing off. In fact, we are going to ramp this thing up because we need to push for everything we've got. We really are not in good shape. Eskin moves up to, now back down to 8th. We like to see that. Keep out of the points. All right, 3rd place is closing in on us. We have 2 laps remaining. And at this point, we're just going to go with everything we've got. We are pushing and shoving for everything we're worth. 2nd and 5th. We need Eskin, who is now up to 6th. We need him to fall out of the points. And really, even then, we don't have much of a shot because the victory for that team, which they are way out ahead right now, that victory for the team will pretty much sew up any chance we have. All right, we're going to go maximum attack mode here and do everything we can to try to capture. Of course, we want to retain 2nd at the very least, but then we want to see if we can't get from 5th up to maybe 4th or even 3rd if we can get it. Again, trying to salvage as much as we can from what has turned into a horrible opportunity here for us. All right, so there you go. Without that penalty, we would have been sitting pretty right here. We would have had a great opportunity, but it was simply not to be. So we're going to lose more points in this race and pretty much evaporate any chance we had or hope we had of the championship. So really, really hate to see that, but those are the breaks. And so as we move through these final screens, okay, scrutineering is going to be perfectly fine for us as we have no parts that would be in any sort of danger. You can see Hammer gets the victory. And as we move forward to the next screen, not only do they get the victory, but they rub it in by getting additional points for fastest laps and qualifying on the pole, I believe, are the 2 bonuses they got. So they pick up 6 points right there. We'll make one of them back by finishing there. But now we are a full 12 points out in the championship. So we essentially have no shot for the championship going into our final race. Definitely not the way I wanted to finish our series of Motorsport Manager, but those are the breaks and we're going to roll with it. It just really angers me that the penalties have to be quite that steep. I mean, the entire pit stop itself is only going to be 7 or 8 seconds, sometimes a few seconds more than that, depending on the fuel levels. But to have a penalty fully double the length of the stop doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me on most every occasion. But again, that's just me being bitter at this point that it has cost me any shot, because I think we could have won that race had that penalty not happened. I think at least we would have had a shot at it and we could have gotten 2 podium finishes out of it. But alas, it was not meant to be, or at least as much as you want to believe in the meant to be things. So we will leave it here in what can only be described as a very disappointing next to last race. But stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager.